This is going to be a few short videos talking about the content in Chapter 4, Consumer Equilibrium and Market Demand. If we went back and reviewed consumer equilibrium, we would recognize that the marginal rate of substitution talked about as we went ahead and substituted one product for the other. What we were doing was we were changing our marginal utility, but the question was, at what rate did we change that marginal utility? So essentially, we had been comparing the preferences or the utility that we received by the affordability or what we could afford based on the budget line. And remember when we said the utility, that was demonstrated through an ISO utility curve or an isoquant curve. In this case, we were comparing the utility we received by consuming tacos and hamburgers, and we recognize that the utility in this case was maximized at point A. Now remember, the blue line is our budget line. Those are all of the possibilities that we could afford, and when we look at all those possibilities that we can afford, the point A is the area where the ISO utility line and the budget line are tangent. They touch each other. They just kind of give each other a little peck. And at that level of tangency, where the slope of the budget line is equal to the slope of the ISO utility line, that is the sweet spot. That is the area where we have maximized our utility per dollar spent. While it would be nice to have a higher level of utility and come out to point B, we don't have enough money. All these points are outside our budget line, and therefore we cannot afford points B or points D. When we drew this budget line, we simply remembered that we had $5 to spend, and if we invested all of our money in hamburgers, then we would be able to buy 4 hamburgers, and if we invested all of our money in tacos, we would be able to purchase 10 tacos. As we drew the line between those dots, that created the budget line. Now, prices of products change. They don't always stay constant, and as the price of a product changes, it impacts our consumption. So let's take a look at it. If the price of hamburgers changed from $1.25 to $1, we would have to draw a new budget line. So $5 divided by 1 would say, hey, we can now purchase 5 hamburgers and still the 10 tacos, but we have a new budget line. We're still spending $5, but because we're able to consume more, we also have a new ISO utility line, so our consumption has changed. Earlier, at point A, we were purchasing approximately 2 hamburgers to maximize our utility, and now prices changed, hamburgers went down, and our consumption of hamburgers rose. So prices do have an effect on our consumption. Typically, as price goes down, we want to purchase more. In contrast, if the price of the hamburgers increased, they went all the way up to $5, well, we would have to draw a new budget line, and $5 divided by a $5 hamburger would mean that we could purchase 1 hamburger. So the price went up, and based off of our first budget line, we can tell the price of the hamburgers went up, so our quantity of hamburgers, our consumption went down. So price has an effect on consumption.